For centuries, the Blue Nile has been the lifeblood of Ethiopia, a powerful force carving through rugged highlands, feeding the land and fueling legends. But for just as long, its immense potential has flowed untapped, out of reach and across the border. That story is now changing. This is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or Gerd, a monument of concrete and ambition rising from the western Ethiopian region of Benishangul-Gumuz. It is not just a dam, it is a national dream realized, a geopolitical game changer and the source of both immense hope and intense controversy. At 1.8 kilometers long and 145 meters high, it is the largest hydroelectric power plant in Africa. Its reservoir will hold over 74 billion cubic meters of water, more than the volume of the entire Blue Nile River for an entire year. For a developing nation of over 120 million people, the figures are staggering. The primary impact is domestic. Currently, over half of Ethiopia's population lacks access to electricity. The Gerd, with its installed capacity of over 5,150 megawatts, is expected to more than double the country's current electricity generation. This isn't just about powering homes, it's about powering industries, creating jobs, and attracting foreign investment. The government envisions it as the cornerstone of its plan to become a middle-income economy by 2025. But the dam's impact ripples far beyond Ethiopia's border, and this is where the story becomes complex. The Nile is a shared river. Downstream, in Sudan and Egypt, the Gerd is viewed with deep anxiety. Egypt, which relies on the Nile for about 97% of its fresh water, was historically seen the river as its lifeline. For years, it was a matter of national security. The primary concern are the speed at which Ethiopia fills the dam's massive reservoir and how it will manage water releases during periods of droughts. However, for Sudan, the perspective is more mixed. There are concerns about the impact on its own dams and water stations, especially during the filling phases. But Sudanese officials also acknowledge significant potential benefits. The Gerd will regulate the Nile's flow, reducing the devastating floods that often swamp Sudanese towns and farms. It will also trap silt, which clog Sudan's own reservoirs, and provide a steady supply of cheap electricity that Sudan hopes to purchase, stabilizing its own grid. After over a decade of fraught negotiations, tense diplomatic standoffs, and occasional threats, a fragile consensus is emerging around the idea that cooperation, not conflict, is the only way forward. The African Union has mediated talks, emphasizing the potential for the dam to be a catalyst for regional integration and not regional division. The vision is one of an interconnected East African power grid. Ethiopia, once energy poor, could become a major power exporter, selling electricity to Sudan, South Sudan, Kenya, and beyond. This would generate vital foreign currency for Ethiopia and fuel development for its neighbors. The Gerd is more than a feat of engineering. It is a symbol of a shifting balance of power in Africa. It represents Ethiopia's assertion of its right to use its natural resources for development. It challenges colonial-era treaties that granted Egypt and Sudan the vast majority of the Nile's waters. As water levels slowly rise behind the colossal wall, so do the hopes of a nation eager to electrify its future. The path forward requires delicate diplomacy, trust, and a shared recognition that the Nile does not belong to one nation but to all who live in its basin. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is now a fact on the ground. Its ultimate legacy, whether it becomes a source of conflict or a fountain of regional prosperity, will be written not in concrete but in the water it manages to share. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to keep getting more of this content right here on Africa Untold.